Welcome back. We shall continue our discussion further with the objectives of business today. We know objectives are the purpose for which the business exists. What a business want to achieve, that has to be decided very cautiously. Proper selection of objective is very essential for the success of business. Whatever a business want to undertake, the activity which a business want to undertake, it is guided by some objective that it wants to achieve. Therefore, proper selection of the objectives are essential for the success of the business. Every businessman, whether be it small or be it a large scale businessman, they need to define the objective for which they want to continue their business operation or they want to achieve through their business operations. Now, these business objectives are broadly classified into three broad categories, as you see. The first one is economic objective, second is social objective, and the third one is individual or human objectives. Now, economic objectives are the such objective which propel a business to work for increasing the profitability, increasing the revenue of the business. Therefore, these activities are very crucial for the entire existence of the business itself. We know that profit plays an important role, the revenues plays an important role. The continued operation of a business exists on profit, but it is not the only objective or it is not the only guiding motive behind carrying business operations. There may be primary objective, there may be secondary objective. So therefore, along with profit, there are other objectives that a business wants to achieve. For our studies, we have categorized it as discussed into three broad categories. First, we shall discuss about the economic objective. The first economic objective of business is earning profit. Earning profit is the very base why a business exists. Profit is necessary because in a business, profit helps the businessman to diversify and expand the business. So the expansion and diversification or the growth of business is directly related with the profit. If the business wants to grow in size, in the scale of operation, then surely profit has to be there. A business must work hard to earn profit. It assures the business the amount of resources that it requires for diversification and expansion. Without profit, a business cannot be said a business. It is not a business. Therefore, profit is essential for the sole existence. If a business wants to exist, continue its operation for long, then a business has to work for earning profit. Second thing is that business has to create customer. The aim of the business is to create customer. Now here, creation of customer means increasing the quantum of sale. As we create, as the business endeavors to create more and more customer, what it tries actually, it tries to multiply its sales the number of times as it increases its customer. This helps a business to achieve a larger share in the market, and therefore a greater proportion of revenue is generated as it create a customer. Therefore, business takes this economic objective of creation of customer, because a satisfied customer is responsible for greater earnings to a business. It is therefore a business endeavors to multiply its sale by creating customers. Then the third objective or economic objective is optimum use of resources. In economics, we have heard about economizing of resources. That is, economizing of resources, we know any business, they do not have a plethora of resources at their disposal. Resources are very limited, but they can be put to several uses since they are limited in numbers. Business should try that they must get the maximum benefit out of the use of the resources. What I mean by optimum utilization of resources is the resources must not be underutilized. They must be employed in the business to their fullest utilization, to their maximum utilization, and that is optimum utilization. Since there is limitation of the resources, business cannot continue its operation if these resources are not properly used. A business has to ensure that the resources are used optimally. This calls for, or rather this leads into cutting of the cost or saving of the costs as well. So therefore, business ensures optimum utilization of resources. Then the fourth economic objective over here is innovations. If a business wants the objective to earn more, then in a competitive era, in a market that is full of competition from the competitors, it has to keep innovating. That is, improving the technology of production, improving the standard of service, improving the quality of goods, improving the methods or the procedures of distribution, the technology of productions. All this needs an improvement, and therefore it calls for innovations. It is only through innovations that a business counters the competitive strategies of the competitors and be able to succeed and carve a niche for itself. A market can find out a place for itself in the market, in a business market, only when it is able to take advantage of innovations. If a business is not able to innovate, to adopt innovations, it is not going to stay in the business, or the business is not going to stay for long. And hence, innovations is very necessary for a business organization. Without innovations, a business cannot exist, cannot take the advantage of business activities, or a business cannot counter its opponents in a business, in the market. So innovations is also necessary. If a business wants that in future it must continue its operation, continue to earn more and more, then it must adopt innovations in its production, innovation in its distribution, innovation in its supply, innovation in technology, everything. Innovation in the product or services that it is providing. Now this innovation is adding of the new features in the products. So if we do not goes on innovating, then we would lose our market share to the opponents. Our share would reduce, and if it lets to continue, then surely our market share will dwindle. It will get lesser and lesser, and a time would come when the business would have to be shut down. So therefore, these are the economic objective of the business. Now coming to our second objective, that is social objectives. Social objective is, now since a business is a part of society, it continue its operation in a society, it has to fulfill certain social obligations. Business cannot perform its operation in an isolation. It cannot exist without any customers. Therefore, it must take into account the social objectives. Social objectives of a business can be broadly classified into another 4 categories. The first one being providing quality products to the customers at a reasonable price. Now these quality products means a business must assure the customers such products which increases their standard of living, which gives them a better satisfaction. But the prime thing is that they must be made available at a reasonable price. Business should not resort to profiteering, that is charging excessive profit or profit earning by hook or by crook. They should confine to earning profit within the social dimensions of the business. They should not cross the social dimensions of the society. If a business do not do it, it earns a bad reputation for itself. Therefore, providing a quality products, we know a product which is qualitative is readily acceptable by the market, whereas a product which is not good, which is spurious, tends to be refused by the market or by the consumers in the market. Therefore, a business must assure a quality product at a reasonable price. The quality should be reasonable, and this quality is just to remember, it must not be adulterated. It should not be spurious. It should not be unconducive to our health. The second objective means avoidance of unfair trade practices. Now, practices of the trade or in a trade like black marketing, like hoarding, which tends to artificially hike the price of the commodity or creating the price to go higher artificially. These tends to be an unfair practices which is against the norms of the society. Business exists so to satisfy the needs of the society, of the customers living in a society. They must not indulge in a practice which is unfair to the society. If a business engages in an unfair trade practices, then a business will not be able to continue its operation. Adulterations in the goods that a business is supplying, hoarding, black marketing, these are all unfair trade practices. If a business continue, then the reputation in the eyes of the consumer will fall. A business cannot take such a risk. Third is employment generations. Now, a business, it must be noted that it should create employment opportunities without any discrimination in the society on the basis of caste, creeds, religion, sex. It must offer sufficient employment opportunities to the society. When a society interacts with a business, it gives an implication that the business is taking the social welfare or social benefit of the society in its activities by providing employment generations. Then the fourth one is care for the environment. One of the major objective nowadays, care for the environment. That is, environment is a complex force of air, water and land. Any adulterations or any change in the composition of this environment to such an extent that it is not salubrious or conducive to the benefit or to the health of the human being in a society. If a business disregard the protection of the environment, the business is trying to create an havoc with the resources that exist in the society. The resources gets adulterated and they affect the activities of the business too. So therefore, as a corporate responsibility, you must be aware, even Bokaro Steel Plant, it has taken many of the villages of Bokaro into its foster care. They are providing education, they are providing street lighting, they are providing health benefit to the citizens, to the people of a small villages. And this is all due to corporate social responsibility. So as a social responsibility, business must take care of the environment as well. Now coming to the third objective, that is human objectives. Human objective are those objectives that a business wants to achieve for the benefit of its employees that are associated with the business itself. The first being healthy and safe working atmosphere or conditions. In a business, the place where work take place, it must have the provision of proper lighting, proper air. It must not lead to a boredom. The environment in the workplace should not lead to tiresome, or the worker should not feel very tired in an atmosphere. There should be a proper provision of rest. So work atmosphere is about provision of light, about provision of air. There should be proper ventilation, there should be proper lighting facilities, proper hour of rest, proper hour of work, specified period of work. All this goes on so that we can increase the efficiency of the workers related with the business activities. Second is fair and competitive remunerations. The salary, wages that is being paid to the individual workers in a business, they must be fair. Fair means that must go with fulfilling the daily requirements or daily basic requirements of an individuals. Not only that, depending upon the time factors, the payment, the remuneration that is being paid, it must be sufficient as well. to survive in a competitive era and to fulfill majority of their requirements. The third one is security of jobs. Workers in an organization, in a business, must be assured of job security. If there is frequent work turnover, then the cost of the business would increase in hiring of employees. Unnecessary cost will pile up. It will add to the burden of the business. Whereas, if a job promises security of the worker, a satisfied worker would dedicate or feel dedicated to work for the business. They shall contribute towards the success of the business. They shall feel satisfied that the business is going to consider their benefit. Therefore, business must assure job security, because unnecessary, if a tension is created in their mind, they won't be able to concentrate in the work which is being assigned to them. And the worker can work with efficiency and can give a greater output if they are assured of job security. Final is rewards and incentives. This is one of the important factors that an individual is directly concerned with their output. There should be rewards and incentives. Incentive may be financial, it may be non-financials. There should be adequate provisions for health facilities, for educations of the children, of the workers, and at a particular work of the employees, business must try to appreciate. There should be employees' appreciation of the work, what they do, what they contribute. Rewards and incentives, they tends to motivate. These are motivations. They act as a motivation for the workers. And hence, if you want that the workers should feel motivated to work, should work out of their violation, should contribute to their maximum, then a business must provide for rewards and incentives, that is, appreciations of the workers for their works, due regard of the workers for what they have done, recognition among the peer group of the workers. They play an important role. So these are the broad objectives of the business. We shall continue in our next class with further more. Till then, keep learning.